you single? I'm a matchmaker. Give me a call if you want to meet somebody.
I deserve someone who fulfills all of my criteria.
Nothing over 20 BMI.
I don't want someone who likes cats.
I'm trying to settle.
I promise you're going to marry the love of your life.
Hi.
Hello, it's so lovely meeting you.
So nice to meet you.
So, first off, I would love to know what made you want to develop a rom-com for your second feature as opposed to a romantic drama like Past Lives?
Well, I think that, I wasn't really thinking about like what was going to happen when in some ways, because I actually finished making Past Lives, and there was a fun, like a 6-month period where I couldn't do anything until Sundance. The movie, so I finished Past Lives, and then 6 months later, the Sundance was going to have the premiere where the eventually amazing like life for Past Lives really began. So there was a 6 months period where like I knew I was a filmmaker, but nobody knew that I was a filmmaker. And I think in that time, I think I was going a little crazy. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna write my next movie. And I actually had worked as a matchmaker in my 20s for about 6 months. And in that time, that I think that even as I was leaving that job, I think I thought to myself, one day I'm just going to write something about that. So I think that I took that opportunity in those 6 months to sort of say like, okay, I'm just going to try to crack the story about a matchmaker and then tell the story. So I wish that I could say like, well, I really want to do this genre and I really wanted to do it in this one way. But the truth is like, I just end up telling stories that I end up telling. Yeah. And it's kind of, that's the only way I can do it. So I didn't even fully know it was a rom-com as a genre until I made it. Right. Until I finished writing it. Yeah.
Do you think there were any creative shifts that you made, as you were writing, Materialist versus Past Lives? Any evolution in your writing style?
No, I feel like it honestly became so much more about, as a filmmaker, like what I wanted to pull off. So I feel like I ended up becoming very specifically and technically ambitious, and even in the writing of it. So I would kind of like get excited about the idea of getting to make that movie in a way that Past Lives, part of it is because I wasn't a filmmaker yet. I had just written a script. So I was kind of like imagining what it could be, but I didn't have an idea of knowing if I could pull it off. So I'm always just, but when it comes to Materialists, I was already thinking about like, oh, I just can't wait to do that. Oh, I wonder how we'll shoot that. I want to shoot it like this. Like, I think that those things were really helpful in writing it.
Yeah. There are a lot of tropes, I think, in the film that you kind of play with, sort of what we expect a, rom-com to do versus how you ultimately play it. Were there any in particular that you kind of wanted to fudge around with? Because I think of that scene, with the Coke and the beer.
You want a drink?
Sure. Coke and beer.
Which I think you imagine as, the guy automatically knowing what she wants before she wants it. Yeah. And it ends up being John. Were there any particular tropes or rom-com gags that you wanted to play with?
Well, I feel like the truth is that it's like, this film is really about the way that, the way class actually plays its part in the way that we still date, right? Yeah. It used to feel like it was something that only really happens in Victorian romances. Yeah. But the truth is that it's actually because of the way that the world is, because of the way that the dating market works now, where it's like so much of it is about the objectification and commodification of the self and of each other. And also it all happens on your phone now. It doesn't just happen in a salon, it happens on your Instagram. Yeah. So in that way, I feel like I'm just completely, I think that to me is a thing that I wanted to talk about with this form, right? As in like, I wanted to actually think about it as like, yeah, it's a story that's set in 2025, but how far are we really from the days where we were talking about our, property and, like mansions and property and your income, and of course height, weight, everything else too. So I think that, I think that's at the beginning of it. And I feel like as a love triangle, I think that what I wanted was that it's like, I wanted it to be such a, more about the way that this woman is making her way through her life. And then these are not just choices about this guy or that guy, but it's actually more about, well, what does she actually value in her life? What does she actually want in her life?
And then speaking about the love triangle, what were you most excited about in working with Chris, Pedro, and Dakota?
I mean, just that they're amazing actors, and I get to just you know, they would just show up every day, just like completely in love with their characters, you know, and they were just, you know, what I think about so much is in my film, there's a line, you know, I'm not merchandise, I'm a person, right? And I think about that in terms of like what actors have to do, right? And what those actors have to do. We're not merchandise, we're people. And I think that because of that, I just know that they had such a personal connection to the story and personal relationship to the actors, to the characters. She has such a personal relationship with the characters. So it was such a beautiful thing to get to work with them on something that they were like burning to achieve. They were just so in love with the characters, and we were like and obsessed with the story, you know.
And because they're hopeful.